A very warm welcome. Today our Secretary Shri V. Srinivas ji is engaged in a meeting of integration of eHRMS with Bhavishya. So on his behalf, I'll be present in this session. And as you know, this is the 22nd edition of National Good Governance webinar series. And this has been a very successful series so far. We have been inviting speakers who were awarded the PM Awards or who were shortlisted for the expert committee for the PM Awards. And as you recall, in the year 2022, 16 projects were awarded under this PM Awards. And the project today, which we are considering today, were shortlisted at the final stage. So they were recommended before by the expert committee, and we have very good inputs about these projects. We thought that it is opportune moment to discuss and review these projects and let the other districts also learn about the initiative taken under the Aspirational Districts program. And on behalf of DRPG, I want to welcome all the district collectors and the field officers who have been attending this webinar series. Normally, we have around 500 to 600 speakers and participants in these webinars. And today also we see that already the web room is quite full. And this webinar series is jointly conducted by DRPG and National Center for Good Governance, NCGG. And as you know, the intent is that replication of the good initiatives is something which drive the innovation and successful practices across the country. We all learn mutually from each other, and instead of reinventing the wheel, it is always better to learn from the your colleague, and it is also cost effective. And continuing with this series, today we have two very successful projects. And as I said, these two projects had reached the expert committee stage for the PM Awards 22. One is the Chamba initiative of Himachal Pradesh, and the other is the Buxa initiative of Assam. Let me just give a brief about our speakers today. Our first speaker of the day is Shri D.C. Rana. He was the earlier district collector of Chamba, and currently he is director in government of Himachal Pradesh. He is an officer of 2014 batch of IAS. He joined Himachal Pradesh Administrative Service in 1999. He brings a lot of administrative experience and working in the field in multiple important roles. He also worked in the field of revenue and civil administration with United Nations Development Program as the state project officer in disaster risk reduction program from 2011 to 13. He is also a visiting researcher with the Asian Disaster Reduction Center, Kobe, Japan. And Mr. Rana, as I said, that he is an expert on education, disaster risk reduction, recovery, solid waste management. So his career has multiple aspects, and he has had multiple facets of administration. Our second speaker today will be Srimati Krishna Barua. She is district of Buxa, and Madam is from Assam Civil Services batch of 1992. She holds a master's degree in science and laws. She served as an additional district collector in Golaghat and Nalbari, SDO in Majuli, senior block development officer, assistant commissioner in Vishwanath Chariali, additional secretary in Panchayat and Rural Development Department, Dispur, CEO Jila Parishad in Nalbari and Kamrup. So Madam also carries a wealth of experience with her, and I think we should now listen from our speakers. And again, welcome to both the speakers. I'll first invite Mr. D.C. Rana to kindly upload the presentation. We have the presentation film. Presentation. So, Rana.
Thank you, Yadav sir, for your kind words and giving me opportunity to present what we did in Chamba. And I'm thankful to DARPG and NCGG for giving me this opportunity. Sir, when I joined District Chamba in October 22, we were already starting on the start of the second wave of COVID, and Chamba being a landlocked kind of district, we were sending patients out of the district and most of them were dying on way. and there was a huge challenge to to address the challenges of the COVID. So we set up 5 PSA plants, 1 LMO tank in the COVID hospitals. We also were in a position to create 80-bed facility in the DCH, which was Medical College Chamba, a new medical college with not much of infrastructure and manpower available. As a result of which, sir, we didn't send even a single patient out of the district in second COVID wave. We reduced deaths drastically, and the national aim was to reduce the deaths less than 1%, and we were able to achieve that target. Another feat which Himachal did, and Chamba also became a part of it, we were the first state and the district in the country to achieve 100% vaccination dose. That was on 15th of August, which was declared by Honorable Prime Minister. And thereafter, second dose was also administered on 30th of November 2021. And all this was done after a lot of homework, a lot of field visits, and a lot of effort. So a lot of time was spent during the COVID. And sir, another problem which Chamba had, because we were grappling with the improving our KPIs on health sector. So there were very few diagnostic facilities. We mobilized around 15 crore under CSR, and we were in a position to set up MRI and CT scan facility in the medical college. Totally around 20 crore was spent on this. Sir, the data which I am presenting dates back to January 2023 when we made a presentation before the expert committee. So patients were being referred for these diagnostic facilities out of the district. Now these facilities were created inside the district, and the patient were being diagnosed quickly. Their out of pocket expenditure was also reduced. Another initiative which was taken in Chamba to improve the health indicator Chamba, since is very landlocked, even to reach the district headquarter or to the sub-divisional headquarter, it takes hours, and medical facility is not that strong. So we added mobile medical units. We added 1 CVNAT machine also, and the camps were organized in different remote corners of the district, where doctors along with the MMU and the technician and basic medicines were taken. So till January 2023, we were able to treat more than 22,000 patients. TB detection rate was increased in the district. These camps also, these MMUs also became very useful for us, because we also use them for the testing of the COVID and also for administering the COVID doses in the state, in the district. Nutrition was something, an area of concern in addition to the health issues. So that was also focused in the district, sir. Second initiative, when a COVID situation was a bit eased, so Chamba is a district where not many people get government jobs, or they are not selected in the government sector. So people from outside of the district come, so they are not keen to work there. So we wanted to give a competitive edge to the people, to the students of the district. So we took an initiative of setting up libraries in the district, which was in the decentralized way. We signed an MOU with the Satluj Jal Vidyut Nigam Limited, and we got to set up 22 libraries across the district. We added more than 8,000 books and more than 807 sitting spaces. Niti Aayog also recognized this initiative, and when I was about to leave the district, another 2 crore plus was sanctioned to the district, and this initiative was upscaled in the entire country. Sir, money is very important when you are to do some innovative activity in the district, and we were lucky enough to get prizes 6 times till I was there in 2023, sir. And during my tenure, district got 4 time positions for which the prize money was given by the Niti Aayog when we did well in the KPIs and score Delta ranking, which was issued by the Niti Aayog. And we used, second, we generated sufficient fund through CSR activities. We got more than 50 crore through CSR and around 11 crore through Niti Aayog funding. So we put this money for improving health infrastructure, for Anganwadi setup, for running the medical mobile units. We also added diagnostic system in the district. We improved the educational setup in the district, added smart classrooms and all that. Sir, we focused on focused on saturation approach. So we were performing very poorly in institutional delivery. So we added 7 institutional delivery points in the remote locations in the district. We added another diagnostic equipment like fetal Doppler, 4D ultrasound, fully auto analyzers for diagnostics. Anganwadi buildings were constructed. Some households were without electricity, so we added infrastructure and connected and gave us 100% achievement in this. Another MOU which we signed was with the AIIMS Bilaspur, because in remote locations people were not able to get the benefit of the health setup. So telemedicine was started, and during a period of few months, more than 600 people were benefited out of that. CBNAT helped us, reaching the saturation in TB detection, which was 90% before that. But when we added CBNAT machine and took it in the field, tested people, so we achieved 100% in this in 2022. So we did a Chalo Chamba campaign, which is very unique in itself. More detail can be seen in our Chamba district website. I'll talk about it at the end also. So we basically, because Chamba is very beautiful, so we wanted to promote tourism and connect tourism with community, local culture, craft and cuisine, because Chamba is one of the oldest princely states of the country and a lot of things to offer to the tourist. We also work for getting GIs for maize and metal for this district. Sir, because Chamba also used to face water shortages, so we added a lot of water harvesting structures, and we focused on micro irrigation schemes. Because of micro irrigation scheme, we were able to increase the area of under MIS from 908 hectare to 2556 hectare within a period of 3 years. And it led to a lot of income generation activity at the village level. Chamba is also famous for off-season vegetables. So people took this benefit of this MIS system and started cultivating off-season vegetables. So these are some of the pictures of the MIS, which led to shifting of the cropping pattern, and it brought cash crop to the doorsteps of the people. So these are some of the pictures. So another initiative which we did was, because Chamba, because of its varied geographical condition and suitability for aromatic and for medicinal plants. So there's a CSIR, Institute of Himalayan Biosphere Technology at Palampur. We signed an MOU with them in January 2021, and we worked on with them to introduce aromatic plant in the state. So saffron was one which was introduced in the tribal area and in remote subdivisions like Slooney and Pangi and Barmore. So we could see the pictures of the output of the saffron cultivation. So another interesting intervention which was done in Chamba was hing cultivation. We all know that hing is not cultivated in India, and we import hing from outside the country. Thousands of crores is spent on that. So a pilot was done in Barmore, Mela, Pangi, Slooney and in other areas. More than 3,000 plus plants were planted. Our agriculture department under the deputy director took a lead on that. You can see in the right corner pictures the picture of the hing plant also. So this was introduced for the first time in a country, and I am sure this pilot is going to bring a lot of value addition in the agriculture sector in the country. So I have already spoken about the impact of MIS, but just again want to highlight that when the ADP program started in Chamba, our agriculture area under MIS was 2.29%, which increased to 5.19%. And this is becoming popular, and I think this is going to change the face of the rural masses in the times to come. Wild marigold is something very important, sir. It's an aromatic plant, and it gives a lot of money to the poor people. The wild marigold is cultivated in barren land. It doesn't need water. It doesn't even the animal don't destroy it. And with the help of IHBT, we set up around 10 processing unit in different corners of the district. In 2021-22, we were able to produce 203 kgs of the oil, which increased to 2019, and people were getting 15,000 per kg. The oil is measured as kg, not as liter, and 15,000 per liter was the price which the farmers were getting. And this is getting popular in the district. So German chamomile was another crop which was introduced, and it is also picking up in the district. Rosemary plantation has also been taken up in the district with the IHBT. Sir, another project which your department sanctioned, my predecessor got it sanctioned, but because of COVID, it got delayed. And when I joined, so I took up the project Chambyal forward. As I said, Chamba is famous for crafts also. So Chamba metal craft, which is Chamba Thal, Chamba Rumal, which is a GI product. And there are many other products like Chamba Chappal, which is again GI. We have applied for 2-3 more GIs in Chamba. So we wanted the product to go to the tourists. So we created a online platform, which is Chamba product, which can be seen there, and it is becoming popular. And we also opened stores in tourist destination like Khaziar, Dalhousie, where people could buy these products. We did capacity building for the local people who were engaged in this, and we also tried to set up a culture and a craft center in Chamba in the old structure which was famous for this. So reviving this traditional craft is going a long way in improving the economy and livelihood of the local people. So this is my last slide, and I'll another campaign which we worked upon is on tourism promotion, because as I said, Chamba is famous for its beautiful locations, and we started Chalo Chamba campaign. We did it in 2021, sir. And a mobile app was also developed with the help of the NIC. This is available in Android platform, and you could see the destinations, why they are famous for, where you can stay, how you can reach there, local hotels and everything, and local cuisine, local crafts. So everything can be accessed by using this mobile app. So this was generated in-house. And then we started a series of activities. For example, we conducted paragliding competition, which was first of its kind in the district. We did motor racing because Chamba is suitable for those kind of activities. We did water sports also. There were theme songs. There were a lot of IC activities, and all this is available in the platform of Deputy Commissioner Office. This campaign has been owned up by the people, and my successors have also taken it forward. Sir, the initiative which we had taken, we are happy to note that though the district didn't get the PM award finally, but the e-book which Honorable Prime Minister launched when the prizes were given, so the initiative of Chamba have been documented along with the another 5 districts which were shortlisted by the expert committee. So that's all from my side, sir. I am open for questions if any.
Thank you, Mr. Rana, for a very elaborate and innovative list of initiatives which you had taken. And my first question to you is, some of them definitely have a very large impact in the local scenario. Incidentally, I was district magistrate of Darjeeling, so I can quite a bit appreciate what you are saying, but not many people who are working in the field districts will be able to appreciate the issues which you are trying to touch. So, linked to that, I want to know how was the community mobilization and community participation in the initiatives? Because some like libraries, saturation, telemedicine, micro irrigation, they can be successful with a lot of community participation. And since you moved to a different position, are these initiatives and projects still continuing? Are they sustained, or you think that some of them could have been, as a infrastructure, could have been created for something else also?
Sir, as far as the library initiative is concerned, sir, a team from the center had also come, so we showcased those initiatives to them also. In district headquarters, sir, there's a public library which is run by the education department, is so packed with the students that the student don't get a seat there. I myself, when I was studying in Punjab University, Chandigarh, had there not been an outer section and a library chair and table available to me, I think I won't have reached this stage. So that was something in my mind. And when we started implementing this initiative, my predecessor had got this project sanctioned, but this was sanctioned for the school. I realized that schools, if you create this infrastructure in school, it won't be useful for the students who want to study after the school hours, after the college hours. So when we opened these libraries and our SDMs took this initiative forward, so in Chamba, sir, and in most of the locations where we opened the library, they were very hit. And before my joining, we had a IAS probationer with us who was working in Saloni. She had already started this initiative and at a very limited scale. But when we implemented, so there was a huge response. And when we realized that more such libraries should be also set up in the district, so we took up a project with another sponsoring agency. And as I said, Niti Aayog also recognized this initiative, and they also offered us a project of 2 crore plus. I'm sure my successor might have implemented that. Sir, as far as Chalo Chambai's campaign, you can see the videos and the pictures which are available in the website. It was totally owned up by the people. We just spotted it, and the local organizations of the youth involved in water sports, in paragliding, they took it forward. As far as aromatic plants and other irrigations, micro irrigation system is concerned, sir, it is picking up. And the strength which the district has is for taking up medicinal and aromatic plants, off-season vegetable, which was happening in some scale. But if we add micro irrigation system, it is going to give them a lot of climate proofing, because the vagaries of the weather keeps disturbing their initiative. So there was a lot of support from the people, and I don't think there is any issue why it should not go forward, sir.
Okay, thank you. One more thing. You mentioned about CSIR and participation from support from the industry. So can you elaborate what special initiatives you took to get the support? Because a lot of districts will face these issues of financial crunch and other things. So how come Chamba was so successful? If you can elaborate a bit.
Sir, in Chamba, we have presence of NHPC. So NHPC, other than LADA, has been contributing for the development of the district. So NHPC was one of the biggest sponsors. So out of the 50 crore which we generated, I think more than half belong to the NHPC. Then SJVNL was another organization which has a presence in Himachal. And I'll thank your ministry also, sir, because there was incentive for PSUs to work for in the aspirational districts. So SJVNL was always supporting us. They were supporting us in construction of schools, Anganwadis, the nutritional initiative which we took up. The library initiative was totally sponsored by the SJVNL. Sir, thereafter NPCIL also came in and they talked to us, Nuclear Power Corporation Limited of India, and we wanted to construct a district library and a high school with the cost of around 12 crore. Though later on there were some issues of GST, but then NPCIL was also there with us. Rural Electrification Corporation, sir, they also worked with us. in setting up PSA plants and running the MMUs. So because the government of India has a direction to the PSUs for working in the aspirational districts, so that was something a big push. Second, I think if you have a good shelf of projects which are convincing to the private sector and the PSUs, I think they will be happily contributing for the development of the aspirational districts.
Thank you, Mr. Rana, for a very impactful presentation and very valid points raised in the presentation. Now, let me invite Srimati Krishna Barua, Deputy Commissioner of Buxa, Assam, to kindly elaborate on the initiatives in Buxa district. Madam Krishna Barua, please.
A very good afternoon to you, sir. And at the very onset, sir, am I audible?
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. You are very much audible.
Thank you, sir. And at the very onset, sir, I thank DARPG for inviting us to give our presentation. And as you know, Buxa district was formed in the year 2004 as one of the 5 districts under Bodoland Territorial Autonomous District under the provisions of the 6th Schedule of Assam. It is located at the foothills of the Royal Kingdom of Bhutan towards the western part of Assam, and it has been carved out of 4 to 5 districts. The total geographical area of Buxa district is approximately 2,500 square kilometers, and it is the 14th largest district in the state of Assam, and the topography is categorized as undulating with plains and foothills. Mushalpur is the district headquarters, and it is located 105 kilometers away from the state capital Guwahati, and the climate of the district is subtropical with warm and humid summer and also followed by cool and dry winters. The average rainfall of the district is around about 2,200 millimeters in the recent year against the state average of 2,584 millimeters. So this is the next slide, sir. This is about the Buxa district. Buxa district, where nature's scenery and Assam's vibrant culture create a canvas of endless adventures and timeless beauty. This aspirational, next slide, please, next slide. Next slide. Yes, so enhancing the livelihood of small and marginal farmers through establishment of value addition facilities under the ADP Buxa. This is the adoption of new farming technologies. The aspirational district ADP Buxa has contributed in changing the outlook of the farmers right from establishing their hands in the untrodden path of practicing new farming technologies, incorporation of high-value crops in their farms, to establishing processing units for lemon, for juice and pulp extraction, honey extraction from beekeeping, and all these contributed to the doubling the farmers' income, which aligns to the motive of the Honorable Prime Minister's scheme, doubling the farmers' income. The involvement of women in farming sector helped them to boost their confidence and also held their head high as they become self-reliant and also a source of inspiration for women folk. The contributions worked upon shaping with society towards new dimension as the youth, women and elders all have come forward, and more particularly the misguided youths as they have now understood that arms are more important, that arms is not a solution for their livelihood. It is the hands on their farming that make them self-reliant. So this is the things that we have undertaken, sir. This is the Mahamaya Village Organization success. The Mahamaya Village Organization, a group of women coming from far-flung or border areas of Indo-Bhutan foothills, not having exposure to the modern facilities with communication and market. The economic condition of these women were not so well, and hence the women came up in group with a view to help their families by fulfilling their family needs to some extent through beekeeping. So we have taken up beekeeping as the major product, and we have named it as berry because here the local, as per the local dialect, berry means honey. This group was organized in 2021 and they have around 71 numbers of members. Previously, they had only few bee boxes with them, and now the district administration, Buxa, in collaboration with the Department of Agriculture, have provided them with beekeeping equipment. And now the group has also set up a honey processing unit. At present, they have 270 numbers of honey boxes with them, with an annual production of 1,519 kgs of honey. The Department of Agriculture has promoted their products in various platforms like melas, exhibitions, etc. Even in Saras melas also they have exhibited, which has brought them brought smiles to their faces. This group has become a role model for the other women self-help groups of the district, and recently in Guwahati, in the center of the city, we had organized an exhibition where more than it is back where honey worth 50,000 was sold at a stroke of just 1 hour. So now this group has been working very diligently and their activities are running in a very smooth manner, and it is a giant leap for the women folk because they are now aiming at becoming Lakpati, and most of them have already crossed this Lakpati barrier. And now the honey producers, from these honey producers, now we are stepping up to form a cooperative society with the honey producers. So here we have given the statistics of the number of farmers that has been benefited. The number of farmers that has been benefited, 700. Number of bee box and beekeeping equipment, here we have shown it, sir. The Agriculture Department has given 650, DRDA has given 750, and total 14 number of honeybee boxes have been given, and the estimated production increase is now 9,800 kg, 7 kg per box on an average, sir. And estimated increase in income, you can see here, is 39.2 lakhs, sir. This is our small statistics and analysis we had done with the production, that with the economic analysis we had done, sir. So next slide, please. This is the entrepreneurial rehabilitation of the former militants, sir, which is a very important case here because, sir, as you know, Assam was reeling under insurgency for the past few decades. And the main cause of this insurgency was economic backwardness, economic stagnancy, and there were no skill training. No skill training were imparted to the youths, to the educated youth. So they had taken up arms. But now, the government of Assam was very conscious about the need to bring these surrender. Now they have surrendered under the able leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma, and Prime Minister, to bring the surrendered militants and those who have come to the ceasefire mode back to the mainstream of their proper life by rehabilitation measures. And the government of Assam is also taking all necessary steps for imparting skill development of entrepreneurship to make them employment worthy, so that these persons are rehabilitated and brought back to the mainstream of life with dignity, and they live a life of dignity. In the same pretext, the district administration, Buxa, along with the Department of Agriculture, Buxa, tried to help the educated youth group, a group of ex-NDFB militants, sir. These are the National Borough militants, by providing them income-generating means and skill updation in cultivation of high-value crops, which is dragon fruits. We have concentrated on dragon fruit cultivation with an aim to provide them a good income generation means by which they can live the life with respect and dignity. Dragon fruit, in fact, is gaining a very handsome market price at Guwahati city. And we have also started exporting dragon fruits to our neighboring country, Bhutan. since we have 78 kilometers of border with international border with Bhutan, and we have one district and 2 subdivisions, which we are in totally, we are always in contact with the Bhutanese government. So we are exporting this dragon fruit to Bhutan. In fact, honey also we have started, then dragon fruit also we have started exporting to Bhutan. And thus it has proved once again that the plow is mightier than the gun. So here again, sir, we have given a small statistics. Here we have shown the breakup. The number of farmers that benefited was 4 number of groups. We have made them into groups, and that equipments and saplings that we have given them, sir, 9,600. We have given them concrete posts and everything. And then estimated production increase is 24,000. So here in Buxa, we don't have much of a land problem because it's quite vast and sparsely populated. So land is not a problem in Buxa. The estimated production increase is more than 24,000 kgs per post. 10 kg minimum is produced, and so estimated increase in income is more than 48 lakhs. So we have shown you small statistics, and here are some pictorial evidences of this misguided youths taking up cultivation of the dragon fruits. Then, sir, we have another FPC has been formed, which is called the Nilachal FPC. Nilachal means the Blue Mountains, which is named after the abode of Ma Kamakya, the Nilachal Mountain. So the FPC has been named after Ma Kamakya's abode, Nilachal. The Nilachal FPC has drawn their hands in implementing the intervention of processing unit for juice and pulp extraction of Assam lemon, keeping in view the mass production of Assam lemon in Buxa district. The farmers reported that due to cereal production of Assam lemon, they sometimes need to go for distress sale. So in the pretext of the plight of the farmers, the district administration along with the district agriculture department perceived the need for going forward value addition, and keeping this in view, the action plan for venturing a processing unit was made, which will reduce the wastage. In fact, it has already been started and we are working on it. Now with the processing unit, we are expecting to reduce the loss incurred and then move towards making it a profitable venture in future, as reported by the CEO of the Nilachal FPC. Already juice produced by Nilachal is gaining popularity in Guwahati and also in the adjacent Bhutanese kingdom. Sir, we have also gone for a tourism circuit. Since we have the Manas National Park in our district, we have tourists throughout the sea, except 3 months in a year, we have the tourists from the entire country and also from the neighboring kingdom of Bhutan. We have a lot of tourists, and when they come to when the tourists, we have made certain sell points at Manas for this honey selling and this Assam lemon juice selling points, and it has also been included in the tourist circuit. The tourists come and they are very much interested to see these plants, especially the honey processing and these lemon processing plants, sir. So this is a quantitative change due to the initiative of the establishment of the lemon processing unit. We have given a small statistics here, and there are certain additional benefits also. The Assam lemon farmers has been gaining access to a market, and the profits from the processing unit has been distributed among the 860 stakeholders. They have 860 stakeholders in this, and previously they were earning approximately 30,000 per bigha now, but it has gone up to more than 50,000 per bigha. So these are certain pictorial evidences, sir, we have shown here. And the next item that we are, yes, next, the program that we had taken up is the female literacy program, sir. The female literacy program rate in Buxa stands at 61%, below, which is below both the state and the national averages. And in response to this, the Educational Challenge, a comprehensive volunteer-led female literacy program, was launched. This initiative, overseen by the Education Department and SSA Buxa in collaboration with the Piramal Foundation, aimed to address the literacy gap and empower the women educationists. Empower the women through education. So here we have shown certain pictorial evidences where women, even the elderly members of the SAGs, we have given them the training. Survey identified 8,013 illiterate females out of 12,000, highlighting the need of 400 literacy centers to address the educational gap effectively. And these 400 literacy centers, we have named them Swanangthai Miru, which in this Bodo dialect, it means that literacy centers, and the women are very much enthusiastic to come to these literacy centers. And these were established in government schools across Buxa with the Cluster Resource Center coordinators, the CRCC, to train and to ensure accessibility and implementation. 400 female community volunteers were mobilized and trained by the Piramal Foundation, which I had already mentioned, with the support from the headmasters, the school managing committees, and a local NGO for supervision. This program has successfully engaged over 6,000 illiterate females, with 30% achieving the ability to sign their names after 1 and 5 months of literacy classes. In fact, sir, now when they go to the banks, it's a matter of pride, since me being a women district magistrate in this district, so when the women, even the elderly women, when they come to the banks and give their signatures rather than with the thumb impression, it is a great pride for us, and in fact is a great pride for the government also, that the women now they are on the march, and hence it's expected that the literacy rate will increase to over 70% or 80% within a very short periods. Then next we come to the health and the nutrition sector. Here, sir, even the we have given stress on this. First, we have given stress on these sectors. This is the early breastfeeding, significant increase in breastfeeding, initiating breastfeeding within 1 hour of delivery, improving neonatal health. Then child immunization, notable rise in children completing total immunization within the first 1,000 days, ensuring long-term health benefits. Even, sir, we have opened an Aadhaar center and a birth certificate center in the civil hospital, so that within the first 1 week, a child after being born gets his or her birth certificate and Aadhaar card without any difficulty. Then the nutrition improvements, the reduction in underweight and wasted children under 5 due to better nutritional support and guidance. Then anemia reduction, also we have given stress. And since we have a lot of Adivasi women here in our district, so we are giving stress on this anemia reduction. And significant decrease in anemia among the pregnant and lactating mothers is being seen, which is, and they are leading a better maternal health outcomes. The Anganwadi centers enrollment, there has been a sizable increase in enrollment at Anganwadi centers, enhancing access to early childhood care and education. Sir, here I want to mention that in Assam, sir, we have banned totally child marriages. Our Honorable CM is very much concerned that no child marriages is to be done. And if any child marriages is being done, if we get any complaint, immediately we go and arrest those, even the parents and also the priests who have, and the kajis who are doing it, they are immediately put under the bars. So that the child marriages, as of today, we don't have any child marriages. The improved healthcare management, enhanced delivery of obstetric and emergency services at the Anganwadi Kendras, thus reducing the IMR, infant mortality rate, and the MMR. It has significantly gone down. Next sector is the financial inclusion, sir. Sir, the financial inclusion has also significantly increased in the district of Buxa. So we have the Bima Sakhis and the bank Sakhis under NRLM, and they have been doing a wonderful job, sir. We have given them scooties for their government, have given them scooties for their mobility, sir. And then the provision of incentives and the printer cum scanners to the customer service points has enhanced the financial inclusion in Buxa. On the left hand side, sir, you can see we have crossed the 100% except in PMJJPY. In the others, we have crossed the 100% target. And then enhanced service delivery. These enhancements have improved the delivery of various financial schemes and services. The Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, PMMY, the availability of improved services has positively impacted the implementation of PMMY. The Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti PMJJPY have also, sir, increased. The scheme has seen better uptake and service delivery due to the enhancement provided to the CSPs. The Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, increased efficiency and access have improved the reach and effectiveness of PMSBY and the Aadhaar seeding and PMJDY. The significant progress of Aadhaar seeding and Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana has ensured better access to financial services of Buxa residents. In fact, here we have most of the people, they have their accounts under the Jan Dhan Yojana. It was 100%, sir. And in fact, we have a very good relationship with all the banks. So the banks are also, both the nationalized banks and all the private banks, they are coming forward in helping us in this flagship program, sir. So this is the entire thing that we had to submit for Buxa. In fact, sir, with the help of the ADP, sir, we are progressing ahead, and sure, sir, with the help of ADP, with the help of Government of India and Government of Assam, I'm sure that Buxa district, which is an aspirational district, will be an inspirational district within a very short time. So with these few words, I thank you, sir, once again for giving Buxa this chance of projecting our schemes. And so if you have any questions, sir, I'm ready to answer. Here are some pictorial evidences of the honey that we had produced, sir, that we are producing, sir, berry honey. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. That was a very comprehensive presentation, and it shows, I think the voice is resonating. It shows all the aspects of administration and development, how comprehensively they have been touched by the administration. And my colleague here, our director, Shri Rohit Anandji, has a question to you, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you please throw light on how has the community participation been achieved, the initiatives in respect of female literacy program, youth engagement, and other initiatives in your district?
Yes, sir. The community has 100%. They have come out. We have the SAGs, sir. The SAGs, they are totally involved in this literacy program, sir. We have the village organizations and the cluster level federations. They have all come out, sir. Even the local, we don't have Gaumbura system here, but since it's a 6th schedule area, but still we have the VCDCs. So they have also come forward. And now, sir, female literacy is going on in a very, all the women, they're very interested to come out and to go for their classes. In fact, if on a holidays also they're interested to come to these classes. And so if you go to a bank, it's so nice to see that all the women, they don't go for this thumb impression. Even, sir, during this last election, sir, this parliamentary election, when the women came out to vote, it was the women who surpassed the male folk in the percentage of voting, sir. While they had to give their signatures in the register of voters, we had asked our polling officers had asked them to give, due to the shortage and paucity of time, they'd asked them to give their thumb impression, but they refused. They said, no, we have learned how to write a name, so we will write their names. So it took a long time, sir, for us, because every women were, they were pressing that they would give their signatures. So now women education, female literacy has gone up, sir. And I'm sure, sir, if we take a recent census, it will go up more than 70%, sir. 70% to 80%.
Ma'am, I'm Dr. Himanshi Rastogi, Associate Professor with NC. I have a small, appreciation to your program, especially the female literacy program. Just one question, ma'am. Since they are associated with school, are these women spending the long hours within the school? And also, other than self-motivated, are they rewarded with the hot meals or anything that is given to the students within the school?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, these centers that we have formed, so these literacy centers that we had formed, so, ma'am. In fact, we had given a local dialect name. We have called them Sanklai Miru, because so that it is the local people understands them. If we give the name literacy center, they will not understand. So we have given the name in the local dialect Santhanglai Meru, so that they understand that these are literacy centers. And ma'am, it is not during the school period, it is after the classes are over, these centers are being held. And these women, since they are so much interested, so we have the users, these women, they also see that whether means they also monitor whether this midday meal are served in time, even for the Anganwadi centers, whether the take-home rations are being given, whether the hot cooked meal is being given in time, and whether all the children come to the Anganwadi kendras, everything. In fact, they are the ones who are doing it in the field, ma'am. They are doing the monitoring, even they are doing the evaluation. And ma'am, in the evening, they come out all dressed up in their local dresses, in their own dresses, in our own ethnic dresses. They come out and they go for the school. It's like a festive for them, ma'am. They come out, they go, and even sometimes, ma'am, I too also go and interact with them, and I too also sometimes teach them, ma'am, how to read and write and everything. Now they are going for their short stories, interactions, and even they want to learn English also, ma'am. They want to converse in English also. So if everything goes on well, ma'am, then we will later on go for this. We will start English conversation classes also with them. English and Hindi, ma'am. And it has also brought a change in the nutritional factor also, along with the health sector also, because ma'am, now these ladies, they are going out and they are telling all the pregnant women, if there is a pregnant, we have the Asha Karmis, but still these ladies also, ma'am, when there is a pregnant woman, a girl is newly married and comes to the village. If she is pregnant, these women only tell her that you should go and contact with the Asha ladies. They are a bridge between the Ashas and the pregnant girl, and a pregnant woman, means the newly married pregnant bride. And even also, they also tell these women that you go to the hospital for these ANCs and everything. So ma'am, in that way, everything is improving. And we have the Adibasis areas, ma'am, here. We have quite a lot of Adibasis areas. In fact, recently there was a case when, for immunization, when our community officers went for immunization, then one of the parent of these Adibasi people, they said that no, we will not give them this immunization, because if one person is immunized, then the demons come and take away, they will take away our child. So these women, they went and they told them that no, these are all old sayings, these are certain things, superstitions not to be believed. And so now that parent who had objected, he himself had brought his children to the local health center for immunization.
Thank you, ma'am. We have a
Even,
lot
sir,
of
I want to
collectors.
highlight one thing. Yes, sir.
Yes, please continue, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Just want to highlight one thing, since ma'am had asked one question. We had the problem of witch hunting. So you must have heard the problem of witch hunting, which was very much prevalent among the Boro communities. But now our women, they have, after they have been literate, now they are going and they themselves are going and telling that no witch hunting, these are all superstitions, and if anyone believes these superstitions, they will be taken into account, that they will be reported to the local police thana. Even the thana people are also taking the help of our police officials, are also taking the help of these our literate women, sir. They are becoming a very good asset for our society.
Right. Thank you, ma'am. We have a lot of collectors in the web room. I'll request them to ask any question if they have thought about it. I can see collector Junjunu. Someone else also in the boardroom may raise a question if they are interested. Ma'am, I have a question, ma'am. Like you are
Yes, sir.
leading a district with so many wonderful initiatives being taken under your leadership. You have also worked under other DM in the past, as your uh, profile shows. So, ma'am, how important is the role of the team leader, which is the district collector, to prepare a team of officers, young officers, dedicated and motivated officers to deliver such a wide range of projects and schemes in a successful manner? So it's important. Schemes are running in most of the places, but how important it is to deliver a successful project, the role of the collector, and how to build a team.
Yes, sir. Actually, everything is not that I have done it or I have done it. Everything is that we had done it. It is the team. If the team is not there, sir, the captain cannot do anything. So our team is very good, sir. If there are certain, sir, for what I think, that is my personal view, that since I'm leading this team, like they think about me, and on the other hand, I too also think about them. When like I motivate them that, see, this is your state and you are working for the upliftment of, you are the lucky ones. You have been born in a good family or with a silver spoon in your mouth, so that you have got education and then you are holding a good government job. But these are our sisters and brothers who are not as lucky as us, who has been born into a good family or with a golden spoon in their mouth. So like, but we should help them, because that is what I motivate my people. And like when they have any problems, I always go up to their steps and then I try to help my people, my team's people, if they have any person. Even some of my team members have personal problems, I go to that extent of helping them in their personal problems also. And even also, they also come and help me. And sir, the team in Buxa is very good, and they're well, and I have told them that don't sit in the offices, always go to the field, meet the people, and then take a diary with you, and then you always note down their problems. It is not necessary that you'll be able to solve the problem within that minute, but you just come out and you have it in your diary. Whenever any fund comes or whenever we are to select any schemes, then we can immediately put them. This is regarding, sir, I can tell you this, Nilachal FPC, these are the young boys, sir. They're educated, they're all educated. But sir, since getting a government job is quite a problem here, so our people, our officers, they went and they motivated them that we have so much of Assam lemon. It is called the queen of the citrus fruits in the world, and it is found only in Assam, not in other parts of the country. So why don't you take out the juice and then form a the juice and then take out the brand name. We took it on the since we all believe in goddess Kamakhya, so on Ma Kamakhya we had taken the name from the abode of Ma Kamakhya. We had given it Nilachal, and then we had also packaged it. We had brought people from Guwahati and to give training for this packaging. Then we had also taken people. We have taken people from Netfi, from Sidbi also. They had come and they had given training. So for this packaging, how to do it, and now they have packaged it very well, sir. And even this honey also, we have done the packaging was excellent, sir. This time when we had this this exhibition in Guwahati, sir, when people, even our honorable ministers and several elite people from Guwahati, they had come and they were so happy to see the packaging. That packaging is being done so nicely in Buxa district for the honey as well as for this juice. And now this is gaining ground in Bhutan also, sir. And as you know, Bhutan is very near to us, and like in Bhutan, the communication is very bad. They have to come through Buxa to go to any parts of their, even if a person from Namlang has to go to their capital in Thimphu, they have to go through us. Buxa. So while coming, they do the shopping, they take our things, and so we are getting a very good market, and these unemployed youths of Nilachal FPC, now they thank us that instead of going for government jobs and getting a mere amount of 20 to 25,000 at the end of the month, now they are earning more than 50 to 55,000 at the end of the month, and they are very confident that within a very short time they will be able to earn more than 1 lakh, sir, because we are trying to go more further, like even to Delhi also we are planning, if we can open a market later on, sir, not now, if we can open up a shop, or we can give in Delhi Hut, or in IITF, if we can give a stall or a counter out there, then so we can get exposure. So this is the thing, sir. Team should be there. Without the team, a captain cannot do anything. So the team is good, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thanks a lot. Now I'll request Mrs. Priska Polly Matthew, Chief Administrative Officer of NCGG, to kindly deliver the vote of thanks to our audience and to both our speakers.
Thank you, sir. Respected Additional Secretary, Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, Shri Puneet Yadav ji, all senior officials of the central and state governments, most valued district collectors and district magistrates, our eminent speakers, and my dear colleagues who are present here. It is indeed my privilege to propose the vote of thanks at this 22nd webinar of the National Good Governance webinar series on the theme Aspirational Districts. I express my gratitude and thank our Additional Secretary, DARPG, Shri Puneet Yadav ji, for his kind presence today. I also thank him for his support and encouragement in conducting of this webinar. Thank you, sir. My sincere thanks to Shri D.C. Rana, Director cum ex officio Special Secretary Disaster Management and Director, Department of Environment, Science, Technology and Climate Change, Government of Himachal Pradesh, for presenting the various initiatives undertaken to improve the socio-economic status of the people of Chamba district in Himachal Pradesh. It is heartening to see how District Chamba has prospered in major sectors of education, farming, health and nutrition, water harvesting, financial inclusion and skill development. I express my sincere thanks to Srimati Krishna Barua, District Commissioner Buxa, Assam, for sharing the many activities undertaken in the aspirational district Buxa to improve the life of the common man. It is indeed encouraging to see how the gaps identified in the health, education, agriculture, infrastructure and financial sectors have been addressed in a very focused and progressive manner using women empowerment as a tool. I extend my heartfelt thanks to one and all who have taken time off their busy schedules to be present here. A special thanks to my colleagues in DRPG, especially Shri Rohit Anandji, Director, and Shri K. Katmintangji, Under Secretary, and my colleagues Dr. Himanshi Rastogi, Associate Professor, and Shri Rajat Bhatnagar, Young Professional in NCGG, for their support in organizing this webinar. Thank you and namaskar.
Thank you, everyone. We'll close the session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.